My surgeon said, if you don't do this now, there's a high likelihood I'll be seeing you in a few years when it's too late. At 34, with 2 little boys, I made the difficult decision to undergo a preventative double mastectomy with reconstruction. And I know that I'm lucky. I had the privilege of choosing. I know how fortunate I am to have had access to genetic testing, specialist care, and the option to act preventatively. My mum started her treatment 35 years ago at the Mater Private. We lost her 30 years ago, and I was 4 when she died. And that same 4-year-old Fiona, the little girl left terrified, scared and broken, decided I had to do everything possible to ensure the same fate didn't happen to my little boys. I wish my mum had been afforded these options 30 years ago. So where did it all start? My brother and my husband encouraged me to do genetic testing 10 years ago. And back then the advice was just to monitor. But as research evolved, so did the recommendations. I joined online support groups and started my research. My worst nightmare was true. I did have a significantly increased risk of aggressive breast cancer. And many people in my position had opted for a preventative double mastectomy. From the very moment I started my research, I knew that I would be losing my breasts. There was always a feeling I had that they were dangerous and they needed to go. And this was the confirmation I needed. After my very first appointment with my breast oncologist, I actually felt relief. The new evidence proved that this relatively new gene was the reason my mum had developed cancer. And moreover, an aggressive cancer at that. Before this meeting, my husband was dubious, wondering was I being too extreme or thinking with fear. But once we left the office, I told him, I'm doing it. And he simply said, I know. We need to do this. His mother, Anne, was taken with breast cancer 5 years ago. And hearing the oncologist go through my risk, we were both immediately on the same page. We wanted to save my life and do everything possible for our little family. As I sat there, my 5-month-old cradled in my arms, I knew I had no choice. What did this mean? 8 to 12 weeks of recovery. No lifting for at least 6 weeks. 2 or 3 surgeries minimum. Risk of complications. The first surgery lasted 10 hours. The second, 3.5. Lots of pain. But all worth it. A journey from fear to empowerment, all in the name of love. The closest people to my mum told me without hesitation to do the procedure and offered practical support throughout my recovery. They had seen firsthand the destruction this gene had caused. In my first scan, the one ordered for my surgery, I sat in the breast unit beside a young mum who had just been told a week earlier that she had breast cancer. A very sobering realisation. And so I knew that the only path I could choose for my children and my husband was to go ahead as soon as possible with my double mastectomy. So now, currently 2 weeks out from my second surgery, I would do it all again. The relief is indescribable. I did this for my boys. And I did this for my mum. As I walk past the little park adjacent to the Mater, I can feel the moment of despair my parents must have faced, wondering what would happen. What would happen to their babies the day they got the terrible news. And now, I have the privilege to prevent that cycle from continuing. The support of my family, friends, neighbours and my amazing husband carried me through this. My sister-in-law even flew home from Australia to help us. The help was overwhelming. I want to just say a massive thank you to my incredible surgical team, the breast care nurses and everyone at the Mater Private. I'd also like to acknowledge everyone who helped me to make this possible. My girls, who are not my sisters but feel like it, my amazing family and relatives, and everyone who wrote in, and my amazing creche that my boys attend. Couldn't have done more to support me. Only a couple of people in my orbit had doubts, but they still have their mums. There was no explanation that they could truly understand as to why I would do something so radical. But to me, I had no choice. Short-term pain, long-term gain. And now, although still recovering, I feel elated that the surgeries are behind me. I feel strong, empowered, fearless in the pursuit of taking control of my life and being the best version of myself possible. pursuing my dreams, living my life to the fullest. And now I get back to enjoying my singing and teaching career, working in our family business, Toll Truck Services, caring for my children, all with a sigh of relief. I'm sharing this in memory of my mum, Denise, and to encourage people to take control of their health and what they can control. And please check your breasts. Le Gras, Fiona.